Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode here at the Podcast. Today, we have another special guest with us today. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamisha.
Okay, Jamisha, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I am from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I grew up right on the north end of Bridgeport, so born and raised there. Love it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, what were some of the things that you were into?
Let's see. I was on the drill team, and I loved that. I did dance. I went to Park City Magnet Elementary School, so I was there literally from pre-K all the way up to 8th grade. So I loved to be with my friends and everything, so it was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your upbringing, your parents and siblings. Were your parents both in the home? You had siblings?
My parents weren't in the home, but I did have both my parents involved. I did have a lot of siblings. On my mom's side, there was 3 of us all together. On my dad's side, there's 6 of us all together, so.
Okay. And speaking about being involved, how did you get involved with serving the community?
What actually sparked my interest with serving the community was my older sister, when I was the age of 14, was diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia. And, most of the times being in a Black home, there's not really any education or any background on what a diagnosis is, what kind of mental health is. It's kind of one of those, what happens in a home stays in a home. And I'm a very curious kid, so I'm like, I needed to have some understanding, especially because my first encounter with my sister's psychosis was she was trying to throw cold water on me because she thought I was on fire. And so for me, I'm like, okay, what's going on? I need to have understanding. So that's what made me become a nurse, so that I can have better understanding. And then I was like, when she passed away, I felt like the best thing that I could do is to bring that mental health awareness to the community, so that, the Black and brown people could feel comfortable with going to therapy and things of that nature.
Okay. And in honor of your sister, you created a foundation.
Correct.
And what's the name of the foundation?
It's called the Monique Sister Foundation.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that foundation.
So the Monique Sister Foundation, my sister's name is literally Monique, or her middle name was Monique. So I created it literally after her. And so it's pairing with having a sistership along with as well as motherhood. Reason being is because I also myself dealt with postpartum depression. And what I realized is that when you go to the doctors, they're just like, oh, we're just gonna put you on medication and that's it. But there's really no understanding. And then being in a relationship where I'm just like, I don't feel well, like things are just it's not adding up to me. And it's like, oh, you'll be fine. And it's like, no, I'm going through things. So I created the foundation where it's like literally just a safe space, and it's a community for sisterhood as well as, for women, but as well as for mothers, because you'd never get a blueprint on what life is supposed to be like. So I wanted to create a safe space. So it's like you can make mistakes, you can have mishaps and all of those things, but you can also come up from that, and you don't have to be reminded that you are your mistake.
Okay. And in regards to your sister, when she was battling her mental health issues, did you and your family at the time understood what she was going through?
No.
And was there, and I think you probably had mentioned this, but were there any resources at the time to give guidance or assistance?
No, I remember when she would go through these episodes, it was more so kind of like the ambulance being called, kind of straitjacket. Now you're tied to the stretcher and things, and then they're just shipping you off to Hallbrook. I'm not sure if it's still considered Hallbrook, but they're just bringing you to Hallbrook, and they're gonna just pump you up with medication, and that was it. But she didn't have therapy services. There was really no communication. It was just medication, and that's it.
So it sounds like you and your family took it upon yourself to get a better understanding and resources to understand what
Absolutely.
It was that your sister was going through?
Yes.
What was that process like?
In the beginning, I feel like it was hard. It was very hard, at least having the proper understanding, because there was moments where my sister, for me, in my eyes, it was oh, she's okay. But then there was other times where I'm up with her at 2 o'clock in the morning because she's hearing voices and she's battling and things like that. So it was just definitely up and down battle. And then with her passing away, I feel like some of my family members still have a hard time accepting what her diagnosis came with, and just being completely educated on mental health period, whether you have a diagnosis or whether you have depression and anxiety. But for me, it was very important because I'm like, this is okay. Like, it's okay for you to talk to a therapist, for whether you got to see a therapist weekly or monthly or bi-weekly, like, it's okay.
So you said your sister did pass away, and that motivated you to bring awareness to what she was going through and to educate people as well?
Absolutely, because I felt like even though like my family was trying to figure it out, I also felt like my family was kind of like in the what happens in the house stays in the house, and nobody really wanted to talk about it.
Do you think if the resources and knowledge we have today was around when your sister was battling her mental health issues, that perhaps she would still be here today?
I absolutely do, because I think that, especially at least for me, I would have been in a better position of understanding, where I would have been like, okay, no, this is how we need to go about it. This is what makes sense. Let's try these things. And I feel like, unfortunately, I feel like there is some times where I feel like me and my family, we kind of failed my sister with her diagnosis. And I think that's another reason that kind of like motivates me to say, I want to give back to the community and things of that nature.
And there's been some studies linking mental health issues to family genetics, and you mentioned earlier that you yourself went through those mental health issues as well. Now, today, what do you do as a preventative to not fall into that mental health crisis or trauma?
I myself, I have a therapist that I see. I see her weekly. Shout out to my therapist because she's amazing. But I also, I believe in reset days, and I've learned what my capacity allows. So if I feel like there's too much going on, I'm overstimulated or something like that, I have a village of my friend network that I've created that are like brothers and sisters to me now, where I can tap them in and be like, I'm overstimulated. It's a lot going on. Help me. For instance, I'll give you a perfect example. My younger sibling's brother passed away last Sunday, and then I've been having a lot going on with creating the businesses and stuff like that, and my best friend was like, I'm gonna fly you out for a couple of days just for you to reset, and then you can go back and get back to normal. And so that's literally an example of just having to reset when I'm overstimulated.
So it's important to always hit that reset
It's
button.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And now, so you have the Monique Sister Foundation, Inc., and you also are doing some great events. So let's get into some of those events.
Okay.
The Mommy and Me event, what is it and what is the purpose of this event?
So the Mommy and Me event, I've literally been doing the Mommy and Me ball since 2019 when my daughter was 1 year old. And for me, I'm a girl mom. So for me, I just love dressing up with my kids. But it was important because at each of these events that I've done, I've always acknowledged mothers that were in the community that had businesses that are thriving. And so I always acknowledge them because I feel like it's important for you. I think that sometimes as mothers, we get so wrapped up in mothering that we never take a beat and say, okay, let's just have a moment where we're just sitting in the presence of our children, whether it's with your daughter or your son. But also, I think that it's important to be acknowledged to say, hey, you're doing a great job. And so that was the point of the Mommy and Me event.
That sounds like a great event. Too bad it's not for dads.
Listen, the dads always get on me, and I did one before. I did a Daddy and Me event before and stuff like that, but the dads didn't really show up. So I was like, I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss. I be trying to invest in the dads, but they don't want to show up as much. So,
So the next event, mom, dad, grandma, kids, they all can show up for this next event.
Yes.
Which is the Mental Health Awareness Walk.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
So the Mental Health Awareness Walk, this is actually going to be the first year that I'm actually pushing it out. But what I realized is that we don't really have a Mental Health Awareness Walk in Bridgeport. So it's going to be literally right at Seaside Park. Going to get some vendors and stuff like that. And that could, come, you could have a little session or maybe a massage or something like that, those kind of things. But I just felt like I think it's very important to bring awareness. I feel like so often we kind of shun away a therapist, oh, if you're talking to somebody, you're crazy or something. It's just always this negative, note to it. And I feel like that's unnecessary.
Okay. And you're also an author.
Yes.
What is the name of your book, and tell us a little bit about the book without giving it away too much.
Okay, so the book that I wrote is called From Broken to Brave, and there's actually a book and there's a companion healing journal, a guided healing journal that goes with it. And I wrote the book, actually, it was God's idea. It wasn't my idea, it was definitely God's idea to write the book. And I always laugh about it because when I originally wrote the book, I wrote the book in third person. I was like, God, I'm not putting all my business out there. And after I did it, God had to sit with me. It was like, I can't, bless who you are pretending to be. I need you to honor like your real story. So I just discussed some of the things and some of the things that I've had to go through to where I got to the point where I was like, I need to be healed for real. Like people will sit there and say, oh, I want to be saved and I really want to love God for real. I was at the point where I was like, I want to be healed for real. Like not this dressed up cute, like, oh, I got makeup on, I feel good today, but I'm going home and I'm crashing out. No, like I need to be healed for real. So like when I'm talking about healing and seeking a therapist, and these are all things and all tools that I myself lived through, worked through, continue to work through. And so that's really what my book was about. Just the things that I've gone through my life that literally tried to break me completely, but I have chose to rise above it.
So it sounds like in the process of writing this book, you discovered things about yourself that you really didn't know.
Yes, there was some things, like even when it came to relationships with my parents, things that I was like maybe angry with my parents about, or how I felt like they should have handled things and whatnot. There was some things where God had to sit with me and be like, this might be where this issue is, and that might be where that issue is. And it's even come to the point where I've had to go to like my dad and ask him questions like, so what was your mother's childhood like? Because this is what's kind of happening. So now like I have a different grace because now I have like a different level of understanding. So
in the process of me doing my research and going over your bio, everything that you do seems to be aligned with a cause or a calling. You're a nurse, an author, entrepreneur, and an advocate. What is your passion in life?
I think my passion in life would be honestly helping people. I think that's what really made me become a nurse. And I even getting into the health field, I climbed up the ladder because I was like, God, I want to make sure that this is what I want to do. So I was a CNA first, then I became a medical assistant, then I became an LPN. I'm in school for my bachelor's. But my goal, I always find myself very happy when I've learned that I've helped somebody. Like I've come in contact with somebody, and even if it's nothing major, even if it's something small as, you know what, Jamisha, you really helped me with, I don't know, anything. That's what really makes me happy. And I think that you should, I've always been taught something that is always servitude above self. So for me, serving is where.
So with all these wonderful events in your foundation, what is the ultimate goal?
For people to be healed and set free. I feel like when you're bound and you're allowing for all of these things just to overwhelm you, you can't really be free. And I feel like there's a freeness and healing, and so that's the ultimate goal.
So now, initially, this all started from the struggles that your sister was going through in her passing. Now she's up in heaven looking down. What do you think she is saying about all the stuff that you're doing?
She better be saying she's proud. No, play. But I think that she would be proud. There's often times where I wish that she would be she could see this version of me. But there is one thing that before she passed, she told me one of the last words that she said to me was to make sure that I go on and be great. And so I'm literally just trying to live out what she told me to do.
And if people want to follow you, if they want to be a part or support the great things you're doing and also get a copy of your book, how can they follow you and how can they get a copy of your book?
So you can follow me on Facebook. I have a page called the Monique Sister Foundation, and it has all the events and all the information that you can find regarding everything with the events. My book is on Amazon, so if you literally type in my name, Jamisha Mullen, and you spell it Jimeisha, and then my last name Mullen, both the book and the journal will come up. But I also have a book signing that's going to be tomorrow at the East Side Branch Library, in Bridgeport, Connecticut from 6:15 to 7:45. I'll be there. It's like a question and answer where people can ask me questions. I'll do a little bit of a live reading, and then I'll be also like signing books and journals as well.
Okay. Thank you, Jamisa, for taking time out your busy schedule to come on this platform and talk about yourself and the wonderful things that you're doing here in the city of Bridgeport. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.